This is Hunter. He is 8 months old, and we are recording his tail wagging as his happiness level increases. When he's sad, it doesn't move. When he's really happy, it moves really fast. Good boy.
Get it, Hunter, get it.
So this is where Hunter is just moderately happy. His tail isn't wagging really fast, but it's wagging a little bit. We're just squeaking a toy for him that he likes to chew on. This is when Hunter is very happy when I return home after being gone for however many hours, minutes even. And his tail is moving very quickly and is extremely happy.
Look at that sign of happiness.
This is where Hunter lost his happiness because I took his toy away from him and his tail stopped wagging.
So we're going to do some Doggie Dynamics here. And we don't really know much about the anatomy of the dog around his tail, what muscles he has, how it exactly works, but we're modeling it as basically he probably applies some sort of moment based on where his tail is and how happy he is to get it to oscillate. And we thought a sine wave would kind of model that. For example, we don't have a whiteboard, so we have a drawing here where we imposed a coordinate system onto Hunter based on at the base of his tail. We have the x-axis being the axis in the direction of his spine, the y-axis, also known as the rump axis, perpendicular to that, and the z-axis coming out of the dog. And we can see that we are modeling it as the tip of his tail relative to the x-axis is modeled as a sine wave. And if we put this in Simulink, we can look at it this way. We don't know what the plant is. We do know that Hunter is supplying that. He knows what's going on controls wise. But we basically have the sign of happiness is basically his amount of due to it's basically the conservation of happiness, that if he's really happy, he's gonna try to wag his tail to be a sine wave. And so he's commanding that sine wave into his control law, where we modeled it as a PD controller. And then there's a negative feedback, so basically he has sensors, his nerves, I guess, in his body that tell him how his tail is oscillating. Now we think that this is mostly involuntary. So this all happens in his brain neurologically. It takes that error and it sends signals to his muscles, his actuators accordingly.